Hello everybody, welcome back to Board Game Nation. Today we're going to go through a great, fairly heavy game called Mombasa. Mombasa is another great game from the Pegaspiel, and also, I forget the other company, the actual company's name, Eagerspiel, which is apparently there's going to be a new deal with Stronghold, and Stronghold's going to be taking over a lot of these games for the English market, which is awesome. Good for you, Stronghold, because these games are really good. I got a couple of these games from Eagerspiel this year, and they've all been fairly good. Out of all of them, this one has been the best. This is a great, strong, heavy, economic kind of euro, and it's based around kind of manipulating companies and those buying company stocks and raising the value of these companies to eventually cash out at the end of the game and make money, which is victory points. Lots of different mechanisms in this game. There is worker placement, there's action selection, there's deck building, there's card manipulation, there's area control, and also the stock manipulation, which is great. This game is, like I said, fairly heavy. I would not recommend this game for somebody that is just getting into the hobby. This is fairly heavy game for people that know what they're doing. I would probably say that it's kind of like Vinhos level. The mechanisms make sense. They work well. They are easy to learn. It's just there's a lot of them. But once you get going, it seems like everybody understands the rules. There's no rules, frustration or misunderstanding. They're clear. It's just that there's a lot going on in the board. Most people play this game and probably, by turn 3, they're like going, now I'm starting to understand. I wish I knew that at the beginning of the game so I could play better. Well, it's definitely a game you're not going to be, if there's people playing that already know the game, they're probably going to beat you unless you're some kind of savant. So, there's lots of cool stuff in this. There's lots of interesting decisions to make. There's kind of a couple of ways you make points. There's the diamond track. So if you get diamonds, you can go up on this diamond track and you'll get points for it, up to 60, which is insane. And then there's the bookkeeping track, which is the same kind of thing. It's a lot harder to move up on the bookkeeping track. And then there is stocks, which you can buy stocks and move up on these company tracks. And once you do that, you get even more stocks. And at the end of the game, each company is worth a certain amount of money depending on how many buildings have been placed out for that particular company. So there's all that. Plus, you can just have money at the end of the game, which each piece of money is worth a victory point. So there are lots of things to get. And they work well together, and it's amazing how many components and how many types of mechanisms are in this game, and yet it works really well. For how many mechanisms there are in this game, it is extremely easy to learn. Saying that it's a huge game. So the artwork is really good. I have no problem with it. It's clear. The iconography is clear. Some of the things are pretty small, so you have to realize, especially the book icons, they're pretty small. But there's just a lot in this game, so you have to make the icon small, or it's just going to be icons and that's it. I've talked about the mechanisms. The mechanisms are great. The depth of the game. This is a fairly deep game. I love games where you can start off, you can, get through your first game, learn a little bit. The next game, you find more to do, and the third game, and you get better and better and better, and and it's a much richer and richer experience. You're peeling, the onions, or by layer by layer. So this is definitely that kind of game. There is a lot of depth to this. There's a lot of layers. You can get really immersed into it. Every person that I've played with has liked this game. Some people feel it's a little heavier for them, but usually those people, the person that said that, they just like worker placement games, and fairly, Keyflower was a bit heavy for them, or Agricola is really heavy. So, and this is heavier than Agricola or whatever you want to call it. So things that I liked and disliked. I really, really enjoyed this game. Some people said that this is a sandbox game. There's too many decisions. I don't think so. I think basically at the beginning of the game, the first round, you're kind of deciding where you're going to go. You're picking a trail, and that's what you're going for. And there's a lot of forward thinking. You have to think like several steps in advance and try to figure out exactly what cards you're going to have and when you want them and when you're going to need them, because you can definitely plan for this turn or plan for next turn, and then the turn after that you have nothing. You can do nothing. So it's really important to kind of you have to see what you're going to be doing, and have a plan and a strategy, but also be able to adapt. But you don't have to adapt all that much in this game. There's lots of options. But I don't think it's a sandbox game. I don't think you can just go off and do anything. There's definitely strategies, and you have to have one at the beginning of the game. I do find that this game is going to be like Vinhos, where I love it. It's great. Is it going to get out all the time? Maybe not. I think it's a little lighter. I think I'll be able to get it out a little bit more, but I think it's going to be hard to I think the rules are a little bit easier to remember than Vinhos or games like it. I do find the rule book, it's good. It's not a bad rule book by any means, but there isn't that quick legend to remember, how to play, which I always really appreciate. So it's really important in certain games, or in particular in games like this, to actually have a way of kind of tracking down the important kind of points or rules. And there is a handout which you can look at, and it helps you out, but they could have done a little bit more, but that's such a tiny little minute complaint. I don't even think it's a complaint. Otherwise, it's an amazing, rich, beautiful game that it's not going to be leaving my collection at all. It is by far one of the best games of 2015, in my opinion. It was up for number 1, so it was that close. But I think at this point, the Voyages of Marco Polo, in actual fact, is probably going to be my number 1 for this year. But this is a 10 out of 10. A really great game. I really enjoyed lots of variability, especially with the companies and the different types of actions. So each company that you've got, you can flip it over, and it will have a different special ability, right? And you can also mix up the special abilities. So there's lots of variability with this game. A lot of depth, a lot to learn, and you could probably play this over and over again. And this is another one. Like, once I played this game, I wanted to play it right away. The only reason why I didn't is because it's so bloody long. But I wanted to play it again at the same time. And the only other game that's done that this year really is Voyages of Marco Polo. Sorry about the screaming. And also, even though it's not that's another thing, is Lagrange, in my opinion, came out in 2015. So that's 3 of them. So, anyways, this is maybe my number 3, and Marco Polo and Lagrange are probably fighting over number 1. But saying that, you've got the point. This is a really amazing game. Well done, Eagerspiel. I hope I'm saying that correctly. But I would, if you like heavy Euros, this is definitely, check it out, get it. It's an amazing game, and hopefully they'll be printing it for a while, and there you go. So thank you very much. If you have any concerns or comments or anything like that, please let me know in the comments section of the video, and yeah, definitely ask some questions. That would be great. Have a good night.